My AC is going on in the living room and I'm too lazy to walk into the living room and shut it off, so I'm just gonna do it with my phone. It's off. And that's how you do lazy. What's up, you guys? My name is Gabby and welcome back to my channel. Now, today I want to talk to you about life lessons, universe showing us different lessons that we need to learn in life. Now, I posted about this a couple of weeks ago on my Instagram. Here's the post, I'm gonna link it below. I talked about the universe and how there are certain lessons in life that we need to learn, and if we don't learn them, they are going to keep reappearing in our lives in different forms, through different people. You can move across the world and you're still gonna be faced with the same lessons. One of the quotes that I mentioned in my post is, because the universe is so excited for you to be all you can be, it's going to send you all the learning experiences you need. Now, haven't you noticed that so many successful people, doesn't matter in what field, they could be athletes, businessmen, actors, dancers, all successful people share something in common, and they all say that they had a lot of hardships and challenges and struggles, but they wouldn't change a thing because those struggles and those challenges made them who they are today. I absolutely love that. I believe that, and every situation that we are presented with is there to teach us something. Now, I know, it's very easy to complain about things, or maybe things are not going that well at work and you're like, my boss is this, my coworkers are that, what do you mean I need to learn something from it? They're just horrible, mean people, so I don't see what I need to learn from it. Fair point, but I myself started to approach every situation with the mindset of, what can I learn from this? What is this situation trying to show me? Now, let me tell you, it wasn't always this way. I oftentimes, well, not as often now, but previously, a couple of years ago, I wouldn't want to see a lesson in it, because I'd be like, what do you mean, what lesson? Like, it's just a shitty situation and I want to get away from the shitty situation. So, lesson? What lesson? In my post, I talked about, and as I mentioned here, the fact that when we don't learn our lessons, they are going to keep reappearing. One of my many favorite books is The Universe Has Your Back by Gabby Bernstein. I'm gonna link it below, and I've also made a video where I mentioned it. But Gabby in the book says that, she's known quite a few people, and some of them are her closest friends, that would date people on and off. And even though it was a completely different person, the same issues would arise in every single relationship. Now, maybe you know that from your own experience, or maybe you know people or friends that always date different people, but yet they find themselves in the same situation. That's the kind of repetition that I'm talking about, because isn't that funny how you can fly across the world and meet a different person, yet that person is going to trigger something inside of you, or they're going to say something that somebody else on the other side of the world said to you, and you're just like, kind of like, yeah, I don't want to like pay attention to it. But those are the kind of lessons that I'm talking about. Now, let's get real personal and honest with each other. I'm going to give you a couple of examples from my life. This should be good. Before moving to New York City, I lived in Holland with my mom. I'm originally from Lithuania, but I moved to Holland, lived there for 5 years with my mom, and then I moved here to New York by myself. So, when I lived in Holland, Mom, I know you're watching this, thank you so much, and yes, I am finally, after all these years, learning my lessons. But let's go through a couple of things that I am currently learning. Number one, think before you speak. Now, from my videos and my posts, you might think, oh, Gabby, you're so positive and you're so kind and you're so loving. And don't get me wrong, I totally and absolutely am. And I walk the talk. I don't just, say things and then don't follow them whatsoever. So I live by the principles that I share with you guys and by the books that I read and things like that. But I, like everybody out there, I have my own little habits that aren't the best, and I have things that I am working with. That I'm trying to put it in the nicest ways possible. But think before you or I speak. Sometimes I say things without thinking. Especially it happens in heated moments when I am having a debate with someone about a thing that we don't agree on, or it can be something as silly as Ryan leaving his clothes on the couch. Here's where the repetitiveness of it, that's where the lesson comes in, is that my mom used to tell me you need to think before you speak, because sometimes you say things so quickly right at the top of your head and you don't think about it, and it can hurt another person's feelings because you don't think about it. So she's like, think before you speak. And I was like, yeah, whatever, what do you mean? I was like 15, like not really. I feel like everybody at 15, they're like, Mom, shush, stop, I'm great. I am the best. I am right. What are you telling me? That's what my mom used to tell me quite often. So she'd tell me that over and over again, and then I moved to New York and I am in a relationship, and he tells me exactly the same things that my mom used to tell me. Now, okay, come on, we have to laugh at it. We have to see it as a joke, because I moved across the world from Holland to New York City, met this person, moved in with him, and now he tells me exactly the same things that my mom used to tell me. Universe, you are very funny and I hear you. The thing is, like, everybody is always doing their best with what they know and with what they have. So, you know, if you interact with some people that are very rude or negative, you have to understand that they are doing the best that they can. Everybody is doing the best that they can in every single situation. So Ryan would say to me, I'm sure that's not what you meant and that's not what you intended, but that's what you said because you just said it at the top of your head without even thinking how it's going to make me or other people feel. Totally true. I basically moved across the world and the same lesson followed me. That's really funny. You have to look at it at a funny time. You can't, you can't be like angry about it, or you can't be very pessimistic about it. It's like that's the way it is. You have to laugh at things like that. You have to laugh at your mistakes. You have to laugh at your challenges, because that's what's gonna make it easier. If we were all very serious all the time and like didn't laugh and we're like, oh, we have all these challenges and things in life to learn, it wouldn't be that fun. Life is supposed to be fun. You're supposed to enjoy life. So even when you are dealt difficult cards or you have lessons that you need to learn, be happy about it, make it fun. Another thing that I need to learn, and I've been working on learning, is compromise. I am not the greatest person to compromise with because, drum roll, I don't like compromise. It's a lot of the times, and now I can laugh about it, but a lot of the times, Ryan would say to me, you know what, you don't compromise. It's either your way or the highway. There are no other options. And I'd be like, what do you mean? I'm sure I can compromise. No, I did not, and I am still learning how to compromise. So yesterday we were not arguing, we were actually talking about this sofa thing, kind of like an armchair, because he wanted to get this armchair and he was showing me pictures, and I immediately got defensive and I'm like, what do you mean, like, we're gonna get, like, we have furniture. Are you trying to cramp up this place? Are you trying to put as much furniture as you can into this apartment? Doesn't make sense. So I was really like, I was just like this. I was like, I don't like the idea, Ryan. I really don't like the idea, because I want to get a desk. I want to get a desk and I want to get a chair and I want to have my little office space. So I was just like, no, we're getting a desk. And he's like, why is it that you need a desk? Maybe I want that, armchair thing or whatever. So then I caught myself in my head. I was like, oh, that's where my habit is. I am not compromising. Why do I deserve a desk more than Ryan deserves his armchair? It's like, I want my desk probably as much as he wants his armchair, or whatever the thing is called, I don't even know. So I just think that it has to be the way I want it to be, and that is not fair to him, and that's never fair to anyone, because we all have things that we want, but especially when you live with another person, you have to compromise. And as mentioned, I'm not good at compromising, so I have to learn how to compromise. There were a couple of minutes of silence, and I was just kind of like looking at him, and then I was kind of looking around the living room, and he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm thinking. I'm thinking about your armchair, lounge chair thing, and I'm thinking about my desk. And then I walked into the bedroom and I was like, come here. So Ryan came and I was like, okay, so what if I get my desk and I keep it in that corner there where the desk can fit? And then if you decide to get your chair lounge thing, I'm just gonna move my desk from there to here because we have a pretty big bedroom. There's quite a lot of space. So I was thinking, you know, ideally that would be my space for the desk. But if you want to get that lounge chair, I would be able to move the desk and put it up here because it's enough space, and then we both could have what we want. And he was like, yeah, that sounds fine. And then I was looking at him and I started laughing and I said, do you see? I'm working on it. I am working on compromise. Can you see it? And he started laughing and he's like, yeah, I can see it. You don't like it, but you're doing it. And I'm like, hey, I am doing my best. This is not something I would have done like a month ago. Compromise is a very difficult thing. So I was just like, I'm working on it. You see me compromise, we just compromised. So self high five. I was pretty proud of myself and we turned that situation into something funny, something to laugh about. That's what I'm talking about and that's what I wanted to share with you today. Life lessons and how they appear in different parts of the world with different people, and we have to learn from them. It's very easy to complain about it and say, I don't want to deal with it, whatever. I am always right. Everybody else is wrong. But when so many people, especially in different parts of the world, tell you the same thing, maybe we should take it into consideration and think about it and learn from it. I wanted to share that with you, and maybe it's gonna get you thinking about certain lessons that you need to learn in your life. Maybe some lessons keep reappearing in your life, but you didn't necessarily see them as lessons, and you only saw them as, you know, annoying people all over the place telling you exactly the same thing. I don't know, but make it fun. Realize that the universe wants you to be the best possible version of yourself that you can be, but you can only be the best version of yourself if you learn certain lessons, and that you need to work on certain habits that aren't the best. And you know what? I'm gonna be the first one to admit that I love being right, and I don't like when people make me realize that I am not always right and that I am not, like, you know, the perfect person, because none of us are perfect. We're not perfect. So when somebody tells you certain things that you need to work on, or they, you know, bring up a certain point, know that they want the best for you. My mom wants the best for me. Ryan wants the best for me. It's not coming from a negative, bad place that they're telling me, oh, you need to learn how to compromise. They only want the best for me, and they want me to be the best version of myself. So be the best version of yourself. See what life lessons universe is throwing at you. See if they keep reappearing. Let me know in the comments below if you have certain lessons that you're working on right now, and maybe there are certain lessons that keep reappearing. Let me know in the comments below. I'm very, very curious. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you next Friday. Bye.